but we got some shorties. So in keeping with the season, the theme is making toys for the kids. That Pat is in charge of collecting all the toys around December the 10th. So if you've got an inkling and got some ideas to make some toys, we appreciate it. The kids would appreciate it. And the name of the
ChildNet is the
ChildNet?
agency, the foster care agency that we work with.
Been doing that for quite a few years now, and the kids really enjoy what we've put together for them. So anyway, tonight I was going to do a couple of simple tops. I have a couple of demos here. Pass around. I'm sure you've all seen them before, but what I did was just recently bought some carbide tools, and I was trying them out. I've been watching this video. Glenn and, I forget his wife's name, Glenn and Linda. It's a guy from the UK who specializes in doing carbide tool work and how to use it without scraping, using it to do shear cutting so you get really nice finishes. You're not just tearing up the wood. Hey Josh,
Hey.
how you doing?
Good.
So that's what I was going to do tonight. I've been practicing with it and it works out pretty nice. Starting off using the round one you can do your rough work with. So let's get started.
So you're using it in scraping mode now?
A little of both, scraping and then shear cutting.
I mean scraping to rough it.
Yeah, scraping to rough it.
Okay.
Yeah. It takes it off a little better. You want to be above center on this. And turn it up on its edge. Oh, right there. You can get a really nice 320 foot finish.
Yeah, if you could stop cutting when you're talking, we can hear you better.
I knew I was going to have trouble with you.
Well, it's making noise and you're trying to talk and I know you're having a voice issue.
So if you turn it on its side about 30-40 degrees, you get like a shear cut. I think that's the right turn. That's a really nice finish on there. Probably 320. Close to it.
Where it's supposed to be.
Okay, so now I usually point tool is pretty handy. You can do a lot of shaping with it, and then I'll show you in a minute when I go down to the stem. You can run it in and out like that and get cut grooves, and it really does takes a lot of meat off really quick. But it does a nice job on creating a point for the top. we get down to this end, let's start tapering it so it gets ready for the next top. You got some nice shavings on the end grain.
Richard, how fast were you going on that?
I don't know, it doesn't say.
It's at least 1,800.
That's fast.
How long have you had those tools?
About a month.
Okay. Are they dulled at all yet, or?
I turned this point tip, I turned it once already.
Okay.
I bought the replacement ones, it's like 20 bucks for 10 of them, so.
Yeah.
But I don't think I really needed to change it, I just wanted to start with a fresh tip.
Are you sharpening it, Richard?
No, you can, but there's no, for $2 for a new one, and they last quite a while, it's like, what's the sense? Normally I'd put a little groove in here, and I forgot to bring my, I've been putting a groove in there and then with the wire burning it,
Okay.
but I forgot to bring the wire. So I don't think my fingernails will work.
Not well.
You can see that point tool does a nice job of hogging out the wood. The set comes with two square ones. One is completely square, and then the other one has a slight curve to it.
Which one are you using now?
The one with the curve. Guess we can take that chip off now. I did cheat a little bit and use my detail gouge to do the point. Make sure this didn't get loose here. Tight. Well, there's a couple of different kind of points you can put on here. A really sharp point, it'll spin faster, but it'll tend to wobble over sooner, where you can have more of a rounded bottom. It doesn't spin as fast, but it's more stable. And I was reading an article today that I was going to maybe give it a try on the next one here. It's a round ball on the bottom, usually made with steel though. I think when Igor made one, it lasted what, like 2.5 minutes? It's
Something stupid like that, yeah.
Yeah, and put a gold bearing in the bottom of it. But for $39, you can buy a stainless steel one.
Yeah. It's supposed to last like 8-9 minutes.
Yeah.
I put some, I drilled a hole and put a piece of copper wire in there, like 12 gauge, and then rounded that over with the gouge.
Nail.
That works too.
I tried putting tiny little brads in the end, but you got to get that hole just dead center in the middle, yeah. And it made a lot of noise. I guess I probably could have sanded it, but I didn't keep going with the experiment that much. But anyway.
Yeah, if you do the ball bearing one, you gotta spin it and then make the next one before that one stops.
That's a good challenge.
Michael Hostelek used to do that. He'd make the ones you wrap the string around and
That's
throw
right.
them.
Richard.
He had a piece of linoleum at shows and had a lathe and he would make one and then throw it and get on another one and try and make it before that one stopped.
All right. I'm going to try. You want to do that shadow too?
Well, let's test it on the second one because then we can remove it if it doesn't work out.
Okay, I'm just going to put a couple of grooves in here to separate the... There we go. Decorating here. I also forgot my super glue. I put a little drop of super glue on the tip. Because this wood's going to wear out before too long.
Now that's a good idea. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I have
Yeah, just a little drop on the end.
That makes a lot of sense.
Kind of markers.
Those Tombow markers?
Combo, yeah.
Yeah. If you're doing the markers, you want to do the point just slightly below center. If you do it up above, it jams it and wears the tip out real easy.
Slow the speed too?
What's that?
Slow the speed a little bit? Or it doesn't matter?
Yeah, it's better slower speed. They're selling super glue in the back. There was one time I was doing spin tops and I took it and I drew blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow lines. That way when you spun it, it turned green. Yellow and blue makes green.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, the kids really like that. And they go, oh, it's green, now it's yellow and blue, it's great.
I have no sense of color, I just put them on there, I don't know whether they're natural or not.
And for kids, the more color, the happier they'll be.
Yeah.
But for kids, the more noise it makes, they have hair, they also.
True. And the more unhappy.
Yeah, I miss my burn wire, I like that burn in the middle there, it sets it off. Puts more color in.
I know there's a way you can drill holes in the side at a certain angle and you do it whistles.
Whistles,
Come with
yeah.
something one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I've never tried it though.
Well, isn't that the idea? None of us here have little kids, so we cannot make this wrong.
Exactly.
This thing
Gonna
off
go
again.
annoy somebody else's.
Exactly. Richard, do you send them at all?
Yeah, I do sand them, but I skipped that step. I bought
That's okay.
sandpaper and I just neglected to sand it.
Will spin though.
No, you don't do sanding.
Yeah, there's no sense in starting over.
Pretty cool though.
I sand them and I also use carnauba wax, which I forgot to bring too. And that puts a really nice shine on it.
Because if you use a Sharpie and you put something like lacquer on them, it bleeds out. So carnauba wax won't bleed.
Yeah.
Hey, it spins.
I was just going to stop and say I usually just grab it and let it snap off.
The moment of truth.
That's it?
Hey.
Now you have to remount it on the lathe to burn it and put the carnauba wax in.
Insane.
So maybe someone has a solution, but I made about 7 or 8 of them and colored them pretty well. Gave them to my niece's little one who was like 2, and right in her mouth, and the next thing you know, she's like covered with covered with ink.
Oh, you're gonna.
So it was water soluble, and
Try the carnauba wax. That puts a pretty good
Yeah,
finish on it.
either wax or spray lacquer.
Yeah.
Let
he
it dry.
just said lacquer will
Sharpies, it will.
bleed.
Sharpies it will, but this markers it won't.
These markers are pretty good.
They're Sharpies?
No,
No, they're
Tombow.
Tombow.
They're actually painters, painters actually use them in paintment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're inexpensive. I forget what they cost, but the whole set was
They're acrylic.
$12 or
Or
something like that.
water-based polyurethane, like Krylon, water stuff.
Usually
Any of it works.
Alcohol-based markers that will kind of spread. Usually Sharpies, because they're alcohol-based, the ink will spread.
Yeah, don't bleed out bad.
So, when you see online, they tell you not to go from one color to another with the wax because it'll spread it, but it doesn't. I use the Carnauba wax and go right across it, and the colors stay right where they're at. And I don't have any, I just finished, just put the last color on and grab the wax and right away. No problem. You want to do another one?
Yeah. Probably make your bottom side, then we'll try your chattering with the parting tool.
Okay. Yeah, we don't really, I don't think we need the tail stump is pretty solid.
I would put it on. I usually do it without the point in there. I use the one way. It's got that little circle on the end. And after I get the face done, I'll cut a groove where that little circle fits into. And that supports it for everything I need.
That's a good idea.
How do you get the
Yeah.
point on there then?
Well, you take it away and cut the point.
Oh, they just do, oh.
So it's still thick like you have it right now.
I think this tool does a pretty nice job. I don't know what you think. Yeah, a lot of these guys are old school.
Just pass around the one you just made. Yeah. And it's got to be 1 1/4 inch or bigger to be child so they don't choke on it.
I make 100 of these each year. I've got 22 to go for my 100.
21.
For 20 now, you got one.
Well, that one's not sanded and waxed.
I think that tool excels. Right there. It's good. Well, that one is perfect.
Yeah, I was asking him if he brought a chatter tool to make ridges on it, and when you color it, it gives a whole different swirly patterns around it. But he's got a really flimsy parting tool here, and you can do the same thing. I've used the small round nose scrapers, the skinny ones, and you put them way over the tool rest, they'll vibrate like crazy, and you just put the tool on in the right way, and it just vibrates and cuts little rippling grooves around. So we want the parting tool away. Close up. About a 45-degree angle. I'm going to try the sharp tip first. I think this corner here would work better. Then we put it below center. You want the speed up a bit. I'm just going to a little far away. Yeah, that did a swirly spiral. You get one of your markers. I'm going to turn it on.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And also this is I made this one, the only problem is I forgot, well, I didn't forget, I didn't know at the time, I should have put a magnet in the bottom first. It's got 2 bearings in it.
Yeah.
And just,
That's a spiral cutting bit. And it spins when you touch the wood, and it'll cut grooves, similar to what this is here. This is,
we'll try.
I don't know if you can see that on the,
Yeah, we see it.
yeah. And that's just one.
Let's do the other one. You're gonna do the,
I wanted to try this other edge on it, but you need some speed on it. I'll be using this edge here. It's got to be way over so it vibrates. Too far. Okay, that's a whole different pattern. I'm going to do it again because it's not as deep. I wasn't pushing hard on it. Too far away. We'll just hit it with the marker. Let's see what that did. Oh yeah.
oh, that's cool.
But it would be nice to do that on the other side. That
Yeah,
actually
I usually do it on both sides.
on both sides, yeah.
But I have a chatter tool. The tool's only about that wide, with 3/8 wide. And there's a round one and a square one and one with a little angle. But you have to have it far over so it vibrates.
Absolutely.
And see, that was this corner here. This one was kind of sharp, so it did those little spirals. And
That's really neat.
I would put a groove on either side of that. Like when I do the center without the point in there, the one way is only 5/8 in diameter. I'll have this whole face done to a point, and then I put it on there till it touches, and I hold it so it burns a groove, and then I come in and I cut that spot deeper, and then I just put this ring right in that groove. And I can be as aggressive as I want to do the rest of the top. But yeah, that came out pretty cool.
Yeah. We try the other homemade tool and see what we get with that.
Yeah, so you can cut that off and make it go away. Or...
Thank you, Lee.
But there's all kinds of different ways. You can use the jigsaw blade, just sharpen the end and do it. Well, it's a detail gun. It's thicker, but it doesn't have really.
Get
It's
your
heavier, it does.
glasses.
Thank you.
Anyway, these are like $5 or something on Harbor Freight. They're just,
For that whole set?
but I just said, yeah.
So these are spiral grinding bits that when they spin, they'll cut grooves in there.
See what we get with this.
That's probably good. Now usually you can just get it in one pass or 2 passes. That's good. Stop.
Too much?
I like it.
They look better than that one I did.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
And it doesn't take any time at all to do that.
Well, we might as well finish the rest of it. Could try different tips, but, you know, for tonight,
Yeah, now just take your parting tool, cut a groove on either side of that purple,
Accessories.
and sets it off really nice.
They end up being nervers.
And you can do that on the bottom of your bowls and pieces and
Richard, where'd you get the handle for
on the
that?
sides.
this handle,
No, the one for the knurlers. The drumming thing. Does that come with this, with
You
the?
made it.
You made
yeah, I
it?
just made it, yeah. drilled a, I forget this 3/8 inch hole, I forget whatever size.
Yeah.
There's a bearing in the bottle, in the bottom.
And, you put a magnet in the hole first.
Oh, easy, okay.
It'll work really well.
That's it.
All right.
So it swings.
Yeah, it's free floating in there. So we're saying they have a magnet in there, but I don't really see that.
Inner groove there, but
So we're saying we should put a
I'll
magnet.
just push it up. It's barely just hold it close and pressure. Yeah. Absolutely. You put it deeper.
Yeah, that's what this
That round
is.
thing right there. Points completely done.
You can do that on the bottom of the pole.
Really good
Yeah,
at
I do it on the bottom.
80% done, and
Doing that.
yeah.
Yeah, I do that on a lot of stuff. All of this.
So you want to make sure you're above center with these carbide tools.
Yeah, or if I'm not doing anything, it's like draining it. I make a little cone and put some size. These centers you can do
What I wanted, I mentioned it before, but what I wanted to point out was how smooth this finish is using basically a scraping tool that just,
Yeah,
this guy Glenn and Lisa, it's the guys from the UK. And he's really big on carbide. He has his own brand of carbide tools, so that's why
Who's that?
Glenn and Lisa is what his site is called.
Glenn Lucas?
No, Glenn and Lisa.
Glenn and Lisa.
Yeah. Guy's, he's fun to watch. He's funny. You know, an old UK guy. You can
Is that the
barely,
guy that has that like?
understand what he says.
I've never heard of him.
You gotta listen careful.
Glenn and Lisa Woodtrain.
It's one that has a bunch of tools in the back, like a ton
Yeah,
of
he's got
tools.
a ton of tools.
I see, I know.
He's got all the conventional tools,
Yeah, yeah.
probably 150 tools on the back wall, but all he uses is like 3 different carbide tools. But he does tremendous work with them, and he teaches you how to use them to get a nice finish as opposed to just scraping. And it's true, if you hold it on a 30, 40 degree angle, you get a really nice finish, even with the same thing with the square ones.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm going to make one with a long tail. A long, usually at this point I'll put the groove in there and burn it while I've still got some stock on there and I can put some pressure on the wire.
Try the bottom of your parting tool.
Let them in here for some reason.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that metal will be hot, so don't touch it. I've seen them take a thin slice of cocoa bolo, like a wedge, and stick that in there, and it'll burn it too.
Oh, you know what else I do with this? Before I do the after I've sanded it, I'd have a little piece of leather and I'd burnish the wood with leather and then do the part otherwise.
Ah,
Gives it a nicer finish. With the square ones, if you turn it on a little bit of an angle and use the edge, the point on the edge, it does a better job of hogging the wood out.
hey Richard, maybe you should do your point while that's still a little bit thicker.
I'm usually drooling by now. I find myself, where's this water coming from? You do that?
I have.
It's pretty good.
That's good to hear.
How much time have I got?
20 minutes.
Let me get this out of the way. I think that does a better job than if you're using a roughing tool, roughing gouge. In my opinion, I don't know what you guys think. No opinions? What's that?
I think the conventional tools are a lot faster.
I can't hear you.
Faster, like a regular gouge or...
Faster than a gouge.
Yeah.
This is, yeah, and it's smooth. It's got a finish on it already. press it up a little bit. A little quick sanding. I like to take that little sharp point off the end, I think, and put the super glue on, but like I say, I forgot it. You see that?
Nope.
No,
It's on the
looks
other
just
side
like
of the
that, but
camera.
red. Well, if we can just successfully get this off of here.
Alright, Lee, you gotta catch it now. When it comes at you.
What's that?
Lee's gotta catch it. If you spin it while he's cutting,
We're gonna test Pam's reflexes.
We'll fall on the floor.
I really like this tool. Pretty handy. Ta-da!